Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. WWE Bad Blood was a show that saw the end of several rivalries, including the ones between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor and Damian Priest. It seems that there are a lot of stories that are now finished, and one of them is the partnership between Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. The duo were pushed together after the Judgment Day split at SummerSlam, and they've both been pushing towards revenge against their former team. However, Priest was able to secure that himself. Ripley couldn't get the revenge she sought at Bad Blood, but following the show, Damian Priest claimed that the two stars are now on their own separate journeys. The former WWE World Champion noted that he was in the men's division and Rhea Ripley was in the women's, and while he loves her, they have different paths. It seems the two will simply be heading in different directions in the future. Ripley will seemingly now step into a feud with Raquel Rodriguez, while Liv Morgan will have more of her own challengers for the Women's World Championship. It seems that the saddest news heading into Crown Jewel is that the Terror Twins will no longer be seen as a duo on Monday Night Raw. The arena hummed with energy, the crowd still buzzing from the exhilarating matches of the night. Rhea Ripley, the reigning women's champion, stood backstage, her breath steadying after a grueling title defense. Her eyes, sharp and determined, scanned the area for Damian Priest, her trusted ally and fellow Judgment Day member. Ripley had always embraced the darkness. It was where she thrived. However, tonight felt different. A nagging unease settled in her stomach, a feeling she couldn't shake. Perhaps it was the weight of her title, the responsibility to lead her faction, or the whispers she had heard in the locker room about Damian's recent behavior. Rhea. Damian's deep voice broke through her thoughts as he approached, his trademark smirk plastered across his face. He had just competed in a hard-fought match, and despite his visible exhaustion, he exuded a charisma that made the air around him shimmer. "Great match out there," Rhea said, forcing a smile. "But I've seen better from you. Always striving for perfection, aren't we?" he chuckled, running a hand through his dark hair. "You were amazing tonight. I'm proud to be by your side." But as Rhea met his gaze, she noticed a flicker of something behind his eyes. It was almost imperceptible, but it was there, a shadow of doubt or perhaps a secret. She brushed it aside, chalking it up to the intensity of the night. They had been through thick and thin together, and she had no reason to question him. Scene transition, the locker room. As they entered the locker room, Rhea took a moment to enjoy the silence. She leaned against her locker, glancing at the titles hanging on the wall. The Women's Championship glimmered in the low light, a reminder of her hard-fought battles and the sacrifices she had made. She had fought tooth and nail to get where she was, and she wouldn't let anyone take that away from her. "Hey, Rhea, can we talk?" Damian asked, his voice serious now. "Of course. What's on your mind?" Rhea's heart raced as she sensed the shift in his tone. "It's about the Judgment Day," he said, taking a step closer. "I've been thinking." "Thinking about what?" Rhea interrupted, crossing her arms defensively. "About our future. About how we've been handling things," he said, his brow furrowed with concern. "I feel like we're losing focus." Rhea felt her chest tighten. "What do you mean?" "We're the most dominant faction in WWE right now. We've taken out everyone who stood in our way." "I know, but," Damian hesitated, searching for the right words. "I just think we should be more aggressive. We can't let anyone challenge us. Not even the rest of the Judgment Day." Rhea narrowed her eyes. "Are you saying we need to turn on our own? Finn and Dom have been loyal to us." "Loyalty only goes so far," he replied, his tone hardening. "You know this better than anyone. We need to be the apex predators, and sometimes that means making tough choices." Rhea considered his words carefully. Damian was known for his calculated ruthlessness, a trait that had served them well, but this felt different. "You're suggesting we eliminate anyone who might get in our way?" she asked, her voice steady but cautious. "Exactly," he said, his eyes glinting with intensity. If we want to be untouchable, we can't have anyone else in the mix. Trust me, it's the only way to ensure our survival. Rhea felt a cold shiver run down her spine. This wasn't just a business decision for him, it was personal. Damian, we can't just throw away our allies. They've fought beside us. Have they? He shot back, his frustration boiling over. What have they really done for us lately? We've carried this faction on our backs. A tense silence filled the room. Rhea felt the weight of their friendship hanging in the air, strained by the suggestion of betrayal. You're crossing a line, Damian. We're a team. We need to work together, not against each other. Is that really what you want? He asked, his voice lowering. To share the spotlight? To risk everything we've built? Because I'm not afraid to take drastic measures if it means securing our future. Scene transition, the arena's ring. The tension reached a boiling point, and Rhea knew they needed to settle this. Fine, let's settle this in the ring. Let's see who's really willing to do what it takes to stay on top. Damian's expression darkened, but a small smile crept onto his lips. You're on. Just remember, it's nothing personal. It's about survival. As they stepped into the ring, the crowd erupted with excitement. The stakes were higher than ever. Rhea felt the adrenaline rush through her veins. She had fought many battles, but this one felt uniquely intense, against her partner, her friend. The bell rang, and they circled each other, both aware of the magnitude of the moment. The first blow came swiftly, a fierce kick from Rhea that sent Damian staggering back. He regained his balance, countering with a series of strikes that left her breathless. Each hit carried the weight of their shared history, each grapple resonating with their unspoken bond. The crowd was divided, chanting for both competitors, fueling the fire between them. As they exchanged blows, Rhea's mind raced. She remembered the moments that had brought them together, the late-night strategizing, the hard-fought victories. But now, each move felt like a betrayal. The stakes were high, and she knew she had to fight not just for her title, but for their very friendship. Climactic scene, the final moments ***. With the match escalating, Rhea gained the upper hand, catching Damian off guard with a well-timed riptide. She pinned him, but as the referee counted to 2, she hesitated. In that moment, she saw the vulnerability in his eyes, a flicker of doubt and fear. Rhea, please, he gasped, struggling beneath her. Don't do this. Her heart ached, torn between victory and the reality of their friendship. In a flash, she released him, pulling back from the pin. The crowd erupted in confusion, shocked by her decision. Rhea! Damian yelled, seizing the moment to push her away. This is what it means to be the best. He charged at her, but she sidestepped, using his momentum against him. Rhea couldn't shake the feeling that this fight was about more than titles. It was about trust and loyalty. With a fierce determination, she executed a decisive maneuver, flipping Damian to the mat. Enough, she shouted, panting heavily. This isn't how it ends. We can work together, or we can destroy each other. The choice is yours. As she stood over him, her heart raced. Damian stared up at her, a mixture of admiration and frustration etched on his face. He could have easily taken the victory, but instead, he found himself at a crossroads. Fine, he finally said, his breath heavy. You win this time. But we're not finished, Rhea. This conversation is far from over. With that, Rhea extended a hand to him. The crowd held its breath, waiting to see if he would accept. After a moment of hesitation, Damian grasped her hand, pulling himself up. In that moment, the tension between them shifted, the darkness of betrayal giving way to a flicker of hope. As they stood together, the crowd erupted in applause, unaware of the real battle that had just taken place. Rhea knew that their journey was far from over. They had survived this confrontation, but the shadows of betrayal would always loom over them. Together, they would either rise as champions or fall as victims of their own ambitions. The future remained uncertain, but for now, they were united in their fight to reclaim their legacy, together. WWE superstar Dominic Mysterio recently took to social media to react to his major announcement ahead of the Bad Blood Premium Live event. Dirty Dom's former Judgment Day teammates, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, were also featured in the announcement. Dominic has become one of the biggest heels in World Wrestling entertainment. Fans started hating his character even more after he betrayed Rhea Ripley to side with Liv Morgan at SummerSlam 2024. Ripley and Morgan are set to lock horns once again for the Women's World Championship at Bad Blood. An interesting stipulation was added to their match, as Dirty Dom will be locked inside a shark cage suspended above the ring during their clash. WWE recently announced a fan meet and greet on October 4th and 5th, 2024 at the Center, 300 Marietta Street, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. The lineup will include current stars such as Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, Jey Uso, Liv Morgan, and Bayley. Meanwhile, wrestling legends like Diamond Dallas Page and the Steiner brothers will also be featured. Following this massive announcement, Dirty Dom took to his Instagram stories to repost the news. The Judgment Day star sometimes uploads stories without any captions. He did something similar this time as well, letting his fans know about the meet and greet. Former WWE writer believes Rhea Ripley was using Dominic Mysterio like a little toy. During an edition of the Wrestling with Freddie podcast, former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. said that he believed Rhea Ripley was using Dominic Mysterio like a little toy during their on-screen relationship. Freddie also mentioned that Liv Morgan started pursuing Dirty Dom only to exact revenge against the Eradicator. But one day, you guys are gonna come around. You're gonna see that Rhea Ripley was playing with him, Dominic Mysterio, like a little toy, not a Shawn Michaels boy toy.